You're tuned into 9to5 Work Rebels with your host, Ebony Girl.
Hello and welcome to 9to5 Work Rebels. I am your host, Ebony Gale, an original 9to5 Work Rebel and advocate for being yourself and finding your path and your happiness. Now, I enjoy helping others and talking to others about their journey. And today I'm very excited to have with me Trovers Orr, who's a 9to5 hustler, who is also an author and the creator of Murray the Milkman Co children's book series. Now, note this book series has Murray is actually the Black lead character, very important to point out at this point in time, and we'll delve into that a little bit more. Trovers also is a publisher, a clothes designer, creating Exodus Africa, so do check that out on Instagram. And he's also a mentor and football coach, so has his fingers in a lot of pies, as well as working in the 9to5. So welcome to 9to5 Work Rebels, Trovers.
Thank you for having me, Ebony.
You are most welcome. So I really want to hear about your journey. So obviously you're in a 9to5, but you are obviously a hustler. You've got your hustle on, which is great to see. This is what this channel is all about. So tell me about yourself and your journey.
Yes. So thank you again for having us on. So my journey started from university days.
Okay.
All right. Everything basically kind of started to stem from university when graduated and took that path, and you thought, you graduate, you get a job, and then not everything should be plain sailing, but it should be at least sailing enough.
Yeah.
But after that, I struggled to get a job. Every job I applied for, it was just like, sorry, don't have enough experience. I was like, yeah, I know, because I just came from university. So I thought I would have got some experience. But from that stage, it was just like, okay, what do I do? What do I need to do in order to gain experience? And what I had decided was to gain my own experience myself. And it started from going to a friend's place and seeing his daughter colouring herself in books.
Right.
All right. So it was just like, oh, why are you doing that? She said, oh, because I don't see myself. So it started off from there. The plant was seeded.
Well, I can see that. Yeah, absolutely. Because there's a crucial need for that. So just to go back a little bit, when you went to university, what did you study? Was it like business? Or like, did you go the path that you studied? Because I always find that interesting. Not everyone comes out.
I've studied business IT.
Okay.
So I am into IT massively.
Okay. And is that your 9to5 job? Is it in IT at the moment?
Yes and no.
Yes and no. Okay.
Yeah, it's yes and no. It's like I'm holding on the last thread of the IT side.
Yeah.
But I'm also being pushed into the engineering side.
Okay.
So
okay. Yeah, you're kind of straddling that fence of
trying to stay on it, but it's just not happening at the moment.
Okay.
Right,
so
but it's on that last string.
Then you've gone and you found your inspiration from your friend's daughter who's colouring herself into books, which is really key. And I say that because actually, as we know, there's research out there that shows that only 1% of books feature a Black or Asian minority ethnic lead character, which I think is disgusting. So yes, a round of applause to you, and thank you for creating a character, a lead Black character that children can look towards. I'm sure your friend's daughter must have been like, yay.
Yes, she was.
Absolutely.
And that she could actually relate to. So she could see herself in it. She could see someone that looks like her dad, her brothers. So it was just, as you said, it's that lead character was the main thing to address and tackle.
Yeah.
So having got off the back of the stats you just said, we could have easily just looked at it, just said, just do any Black character or anything with a Black voice.
Yeah.
And it was just like, we need to have ourselves represented. And when we did do some research, it was like, who's there? Bob the Builder.
Yeah.
Postman Pat.
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer. Mm-hmm. I know I'm showing my age a little bit.
That's right. But even Dora the Explorer, you can see, she teaches them Spanish, but but you still didn't have any main characters, or even in the shows, actually, really, who were Black that I can think of. Even I look back at my childhood growing up watching the cartoons. apart from things that obviously don't relate, like Care Bears, there's no color to worry about there. But but in most of the characters, like the ones that you like, even like He-Man and things like that, right? I used to watch when I was younger. Where's your black characters? Still no black characters. So it's really a big area that I feel like needs a lot of attention. So it's really good that was something that got your attention. And the way that it happened, because it wasn't necessarily your own child, it was your friend's child that you thought, oh, wow, there's a gap here. Let me plug that, which is very entrepreneurial and good. And I see that with Murray the Milkman, you've got a series, right? So you created the character with their friends.
Yes.
Right? Supporting them. And they're quite multicultural as well, right?
Exactly that, near a London area. So trying to keep it as close to home.
Yeah.
Keeping it as real life as possible.
Yeah.
And where we live, it is a multicultural city. So
Absolutely.
try to have that feature within the books as well to capture everything, and that we can look at it, whether a child, adult, and say, I can relate to that. So the Murray the Milkman series is, it addresses various issues. So a passion of mine is health and well-being.
Yeah, mine too.
Fitness on the obesity, the environment. So I always wanted to have some key aspects to address that as well. So it was just like, how do I do it? Can I do it in one book? Can I do it in other things? And as I was thinking of the plan, like, how do we go about, what do I want to write about? It was like, do you know what? What am I doing? What is going on in today's world?
Yeah.
What really has that passion? So it was just add my passion, tackling the health side, the environmental side, and put it in a book, and let Murray the Milkman and the friends and his niece and nephew promote the message.
Yeah.
As well great. As having Rascal the cat trying to steal the milk to show some positive and negative life scenarios.
Yeah, which is important for children to learn. That's part of life, isn't it? You grow up, people are going to do naughty things, and how do you manage it and like that. I think that's important to relate. And I was going to say, because he's Murray the Milkman, right? And you're on the healthy side. Does he deliver like hemp milk and oat milk? And like, is he pretty much, is he quite down with different milks? Is he?
Yeah, 100%.
I like it.
No, 100%.
I like it.
He's got YouTube videos showing how to make your own milk.
Oh, brilliant.
So it does show, like, on the economic side, or how you can, whether you're allergic, or on the economic side and say, I can't afford, how do I want to make my own milk?
Yeah, that's really cool. That's really cool.
Murray, he shows how to make tiger nut milk.
I thought I saw something like that and I'm going to watch it. Okay, cool. And so I looked at that to see what you was doing. I thought, okay, this is a great character. And I assumed you'd go animation route because it lends itself so well for it. So has it been well received, the actual books and what you've got on YouTube so far?
Do you know what? It has. Right, we've had our struggles. We've had our issues, debates with some, because many people say they don't see milkmen anymore. So we have had those type of feedbacks, but it is showing us, okay, we don't have a milkman, but we have alternatives to just dairy milk.
Yeah, you do. Absolutely.
Yeah? And the milkman is out there to show you. So if you don't see it outside, I'm sure you can find it in the book or online.
Murray you can. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I think there's a lot of scope with Murray the Milkman and his friends as well. And you've got the nieces, the twins and stuff. So, So do you have any plans about pushing it in different directions? Because I've seen that you've got different characters. So I was thinking, this is great. So obviously there's an opportunity for you to either build on more of that or look at different products potentially, like I think, as you can tell, I like animation.
No, we are working towards the animation. I have been looking at it, but there's, because of the particular style that I'm looking for. So when you see the books, the pictures in the books, that's the style I'm looking for, the animation.
Yeah.
So I have had a bit of difficulty or challenge to see how I can maintain the quality of the book pictures to have it onto animation. Yeah. But it's also down to funding as well. Yeah, no, I can understand that. I'm going to say that next. I'm going to say, obviously, you've got to look at the funding part. So I get that, particularly as you're a 9-to-5 hustler, we have to definitely keep an eye on our pennies. So I completely get it. But I'll be behind you on the animation thing. I think that's great.
And don't forget to check out, I'm sure you do really check out freelancer websites, Fiverr.co, you know, UK, all those ones. I've got some good people on there. And I'll see, there's someone I know who is doing something like that. I'll have a look. And if I can put you in touch, then I will.
No, that'd be great.
So that's great on that side of things. And would you consider like taking Murray the Milkman or another character and making them into like a doll for children? Or is that like way down the line?
See, that's all there.
Okay.
Like the merchandises of the Murray the Milkman himself.
Yeah.
Rascal the cat as well. Yeah, Rascal's getting, as you asked before, Rascal's getting a little fan following himself.
Cool.
So who knows? It could be other characters, or maybe it'd be Rascal the cat.
Yeah,
that has his own spin-off. But that's the joy of having this opportunity that the Murray and Co and friends have created.
Yeah,
it's created Murray, the cousin, the niece, nephews, Rascal, and all the other diverse characters.
Yeah, that's cool. I think that's really good. And so you've got your plans in the work by the sounds of it, right? For Murray the Milkman.
Yes.
So there's more to come on that, people. So do keep an eye out for that. So we also mentioned, I saw in your bio that you've also got your clothing brand. So do tell me a bit about this. And are you wearing something now?
Yes,
I do like that hoodie.
Thank you very much. From the Murray the Milkman signature hoodies coming up.
Cool.
So it's in a crossover with my other project, Exodus Africa.
Okay, so it's a crossover project. Cool.
Yes. Yeah. So Exodus Africa is also doing some of the clothing for Murray the Milkman, but it's kind of a pre-marketing tool, because one of the new stories is about Murray the Milkman going back to Africa.
Oh, cool.
So Murray does show following its roots, learning about its roots.
Yeah.
Different countries around the world, and it's starting off and going with Africa into Ghana.
Oh,
so that will be coming out this year.
Yay.
Along with the expanded clothing range with Exodus Africa as well.
Okay. Sounds very interesting. Tell me a bit more about Exodus Africa. Is that your one, or is it a joint project?
No, so that's mine again. It came off from my visit to Africa.
Oh, brilliant.
Went to Ghana, and I asked for the clothing to be a few designs to be done. This was one of the first ones, and then a few others came off the back of it, and it's kind of just grown steadily and slowly off the back of that. And I've not really looked back. I've just taken the opportunity to grow with it and then see what happens. And the feedback's being great. The products are looking nice as well. So
good. And so where can people go to find out about your clothing line? So
the Exodus is www.exodusafrica.co.uk.
Okay.
And Exodus Africa _fashion on Instagram and Facebook.
Okay. Cool. Okay. So that's a bit about your Exodus Africa. And that came about when you went to Ghana, you say. So that was your inspiration. Yes. And so you wanted to take something from the motherland to bring to the UK audience. Was that kind of your premise?
Do you know what? That was not on the card.
Was it not?
No, it was not. For me, it was just to say, right, I spent enough money going to Europe.
Right.
Let me go back to the motherland.
Right.
Where can I go for a quick break and see what happens, just to sample it? And Ghana was the first song that I was able to get, and it was just like, all right, I'm going up there just to add it to the CV. But from there, it came about of getting lost. It came about getting lost, seeing someone just clearing out, and just asked him, what do you do? He said, I'm shutting up shops. It's closing.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, okay. I've got this design. I've thought of it while I was on the plane and back and forth traveling. Can you do this? He says, yes.
Brilliant.
And it's just grown from there.
Brilliant.
It's grown from there.
Oh, well, that's good. I like the fact that you're taking that project and merging it a bit with Murray, with your own little clothing line there. I think that's quite nice as well, with your new Murray adventure as well. I think that's pretty cool. So about the publishing side, because you publish it yourself, right?
Yes, self-published.
Self-published. Yes. And so is your book currently available in other stores? So Murray Milkman series, where can people get it at the moment?
So the Murray the Milkman series, they're all available at readaware.com.
Right.
Yeah. Also, Black Bronze Shopping.
Okay.
That's an online distribution of black products, business owners.
Okay.
Yeah, dot shopping. Also on Amazon.
Okay, cool.
And then the shops are Diversity in Brixton.
Okay.
Ank Wellbeing in North London, in Willesden.
Okay. So you've got very good reception in terms of like black shops. So what about mainstream? How's that been? Have you approached them? Or...
I've approached them.
Okay.
So with the mainstream, what my challenge has been is more on the fact that some of them say, "Oh, we don't have milkman."
Yeah.
No more. So they look at it as just only a milkman. And that's it. They don't really looking into the story as much. And also, it's because it's been self-published, I have found it a little bit more of a struggle than if it was
Yeah.
But overall journey of it, I have labelled it as a beautiful struggle.
Yeah. I think that sounds about right. I think you're going to encounter some of those struggles. I think that's natural. But I feel like I would think that bigger stores would want to stock your book. I get the whole thing that, milkman isn't necessarily a career, but it's actually just a story. It's a story, isn't it? It's just stories, isn't it?
Do you know? When you say it's not a career, so with the other aspect of Murray the Milkman, what it is trying to achieve and promote is, as well as having the black-led character, but it's also to encourage entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Because being a milkman, you are running your own business. Yeah. So it is still having the same business mindset and the disciplines. And you have to have certain skills, no matter whether you are working or you're going to go out and do your own venture, you need to have particular disciplines and skills. And Murray the Milkman, we feel, does demonstrate that within the stories.
I can understand that. When I say the career path, I mean, because in currently, has the book publishers or the book stockists will say, oh, well, it's not what people necessarily turn to. But I get where you're coming from in terms of the entrepreneurial spirit it takes to have their own journey. So I just think it's a shame that they wouldn't just, take it on. But again, it gives you a bit more something to work towards for your next series, right? You just switch the names around. We can drop Milkman, we just have Murray or Murray, whatever. But he could be doing different jobs. We just don't know yet. But I think
when the TV show comes out,
absolutely. But my main point being is that I feel like a lot of the bigger shops should be stocking this because there's really a lack of black characters in books as it is in children's books. So to me, if you've got a book publisher coming to you to say, well, look, this is a book, then you should be getting involved with that in some shape or form. So that's where my point's coming from, really to have a moan and a pop at the mainstream. Because what are we doing out here? This is not on. I just find it, because even I was Googling black lead character books and things like that. And I was hoping to see, I'm like, there's only a handful like we know, and they're becoming more prevalent. But again, we need to make sure the ones that are out there like yourself are known about as well, So I think it's great you've got your website. I think that's really helpful. It's good that you're on Amazon as well. But I think, the bigger stores picking up will help too, because there's children out there that want to see themselves reflected.
That's exactly. But we'll still be
pushing. Yes. And you've got more to come. So I definitely know 100%. That you will keep on pushing. I already know that. Definitely. So like we discussed, so we've got your books, you've got your clothing, so you're into other ventures and stuff, and you still have your 9 to 5. Now, is there a reason why you haven't ditched it yet? Is it a case of you're not ready to transition yet? Or is it a case of you're holding on? There's always different reasons why we hold on.
I think my reason is at the moment, I'm using it as a paycheck to paycheck to be able to keep yourself fund, afloat, right? Literally fund the books, fund the clothing. At least as a startup. Because I haven't done any grants, loans, or any funding.
That's brilliant. So you've done it all on your own, literally, everything you've done.
Yes.
Wow. Okay.
Yes.
Well, so that's commendable.
In a nutshell, that's the reason why.
Yeah. Why you're still doing it. Yeah, but I think that's important to share, which is why I have this talk with people, because I think it's important, because you've got those who are on their entrepreneurial journey, and you might think that you can get it straight away, or you might make that transition straight away, but it's not always that simple, depending on what your hustle is, what you're trying to go towards, and where you are in that you know, it does have an impact. So for you, like you said, that's keeping you afloat. It's keeping you able to fund the projects you're working on now. And so once your income can take over that, then you can make the transition. So it's about knowing when. And I always find that really interesting. So no, thank you for being honest and sharing that as well. So I know we touched on it a bit just before we came onto camera, but I always like to talk about, you know, as an entrepreneur, having different income streams is really key, right? Because you go to all these talks, hear these entrepreneurs talking about like, what's the best way to do it? And they always say you've got to have more than one income stream, right? So we know that to be basic. And you're definitely showing that with the fact that you've got your work, you've got your projects that you're working on. So you've got your different streams. So I wanted to find out is, do you have any other kind of passive income streams? You know, what do you do? What do you find most profitable that you want to share with any of the listeners or watchers?
Do you know, so any other ones other than what we've spoken about already? I'll do trading.
Okay. What kind of trading do you do?
So I do Forex and HFX.
Okay, yeah. Cool.
So
how are you finding that?
It's just mentioned. It's a journey. Yeah. I'm learning so much more about myself.
Yeah.
I'm also finding out that I always thought I had patience.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, when it comes to trading,
it's different.
It's different patience.
It is different. It's different because I do trading too, so I feel your pain on that, and it is definitely a learning curve. And you do learn to be patient. Yeah, I feel like you learn a lot about yourself as well. You know, where you certain ideals you had of yourself, and you're like, oh, okay, you know, this is showing a different side of me actually. So that's it. It's quite interesting. But that's good though. I think that's really important to have your hands in different pies and stuff like that. I think that's really, really key to moving yourself forward. And then what do you think about the 9-to-5 culture? Because I always like having a good chat about that because I think it's interesting. You know, what do you think of it? The sort of 9-to-5 culture norm or not so norm these days?
Do you know what? I think it's down to the individual. I personally think it's down to the individuals. Some people, it's just not for you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's just not for you, or you're transitioning into something different, and it could be away from the 9-to-5, or it could be the other way around. Some people, I've come across a few people of late who dropped out of school, started their own business, and then for whatever reason,
they've come back.
Or even just go to the 9-to-5. So I think it's down to the individual, because I think it's the same as, do you go to uni or not? Is there any benefit to going to university? My first answer to that used to be, I just paid for social. But when I take myself out of it, on top of the social side of it, I also, and the networking side of it, you kind of learn a structure.
Yeah.
But we all learn in different ways.
Absolutely.
So I don't really want to answer that. Would it make any difference? Because that individual, what is
that's your personal perspective
and your mindset.
Yeah.
It's that mindset. Like, can I do it? If you want to do it, you can do it.
You can do anything you put your mind to. Absolutely.
That's it. Plant that seed, and then it starts to come. But it's really just down to that. I believe it's that individual.
I get you. Yeah, I get it. I think it's interesting because I feel like it's down to the individual, but it's also down to programming, because we'll look at the way we're programmed through society. You come out of, it's all very cookie cutter. You know, you go to primary school, you go to secondary school, you're supposed to go on to college. Yes. You go into university, you get yourself a 9-to-5 job, you get yourself a house, wife, dog, children. Boom. Apparently that's the end of it. You know, so
no, that's it.
That's the fairy tale life that we've been sold. So I think it's interesting because I feel like it depends on you as a person. Like you said, are you up for that sort of 9-to-5 life? Once you're into it, you might enjoy it. So I feel like if you're enjoying it, then you are fine. You're where you're supposed to be. I feel like you're supposed to do what you love. So as long as you're doing what you enjoy, then that's what you should be getting paid to do. Getting paid to do what you love, that it won't feel 100%. Like work, right? So I feel like, so some people who come to me, can I do coaching? And they're like, well, I want to start a business, or, you know, you might have an idea about something. But it's like, well, doing a business is a great idea, but there's a lot of work that goes into it, because everyone sees what they see on Instagram. And, you know, people posting up with whatever they've got going on. You don't see what goes on behind the scenes. So to me, you've got to be really determined and ready to put in the work to go and be your own boss I feel like the difference is with 9 to 5, you can be a bit more comfortable in the sense that you're getting a regular pay. You know, you get paid for your lunch breaks, you get paid to have a chat while you're chatting to somebody else at another desk or whatever the case may be, right? Then you've got the flip side of working for yourself, where you do have more unlimited reach in terms of earnings, depending on how you work and what you do. There's so many like things to look up, and depending on how much work you do too. You know, so I agree with you. I think it's down to the individual and the type of business you want to try and do. I'm always a fan of more the online type of businesses, because I feel like bricks and mortar businesses, you know, have their issues as well.
Yep.
Particularly looking at the pandemic, right? So look how many people would have been out of pocket paying the rents and, you know, all those kind of things, and wouldn't be able to be in the stores. Those who were online, I mean, Amazon, their sales went up. Loads of people's online sales went up. So it just depends on the kind of business type or structure that you have. But yes, good point what you mentioned there. And then what kind of advice would you give someone who is looking to start their own book series line, and they're in a 9 to 5 like you, and they're thinking about, you know, venturing out and sharing some skills?
Do you know, what advice would I give them? Don't have any. Try not to have much excuses.
Okay.
Just do it. Do your research. Have an idea. You got that idea. Just do it, because later on, 5-10 years down the lane, or when you're just older, and you can't even pick up a pen, you can't write, and you said you had this idea, and it just stayed in your head.
Yeah.
And then afterwards, someone else does it, exactly the same as what you were thinking or had in your head. Yeah, plant that seed and just let it grow and do it. Try it.
Yeah. I agree with that. I think that's important. Go for it. I always try to say, don't have any regrets. You only live once. Go for it.
That's it.
Go for it, indeed.
No excuses.
So what usually motivates you then, Trovers, and what keeps you going on your journey? Because obviously you've got a 9 to 5 too, and it's not easy when you're juggling. Sometimes you come home from work, you're like, I just want to relax and watch some TV. So like, what keeps you going?
Do you know what? So during the lockdown, I've been working from home.
Okay, brilliant.
So
okay.
I don't know if it's brilliant. Like,
well, there could be. It's not such a harder transition, is it, to then move into your own thing if you're at home already?
No,
like that.
Well, it's the motivation though.
Oh yeah.
So that's the struggle. So there's times I'll go into one room to do my 9 to 5, and then go into another room to work on Murray and draw some sketches for designs.
Okay.
For my motivation, just to keep the mind going, camping.
Okay.
I'm a big camper.
Okay.
We go camping as much as we can.
Okay. So has Mummy got a camping series then? I'm sure it's coming.
You know what? I have written a camping story.
You need to put that out, definitely.
I have put that out, but that was done before, and it was just like trying to what comes first, which one to do first.
Okay, I get you. Yeah.
But yeah, the pandemic did just let the creative juice just flow. Exercising as much, and eating correctly. So I've the eating side, I've noticed a big impact like during the lockdown.
Okay.
So yeah, just make sure we're eating correct.
Was you eating very healthy during lockdown?
It's kind of the other way around, because before lockdown, I think I was eating healthy.
Okay.
When lockdown came, it was just like, oh. I
know everyone starts putting on their lockdown pounds. I was going to say, you must be one of the few that were eating healthy, because I think a few of us were like, I feel like I started off kind of healthy and then got a bit comfortable, and it's like, oh, let's just get that, you know. Yep. So it kind of falls off a little bit. So but it does have an impact. Your point being is food and exercise has an impact on the mental as well.
On the mentals, big time. Much so. Yeah, I've learned that myself. As I said, you're sitting at work, at home, doing the same thing over and over, seeing the same four walls. Even if you turn yourself differently, angle in the room, you're still seeing the same thing, and just like, what do I do? So like during lockdown, at the early stages, which I think did help, I got myself a bike, an indoor. A spin bike.
Okay.
So I remember I still do it, but not as much. I was doing my meetings just on the spin bike. So it felt good.
Moving, it feels good for you.
Yeah, it felt good. So I was doing something, and then afterwards I'll just go for a little walk just to cool down.
Yeah.
And just that on the mind, it was just so great. And then as lockdown carried on, it was just getting more of a challenge. But it's the exercises and eating.
Yeah, I think that's helpful. I found going for walks really helpful. exercising is really helpful. I've always worked from home since doing my own business. So I'm used to being at home. So for everyone who's like, oh my gosh, I'm like, this is normal for me being at home. So that wasn't necessarily a change for me. But it's just, my thing is just staying on in terms of trying to keep myself motivated to get other things done. Because, like you said, you've got different hats and different pies sometimes. And sometimes you're like, well, I'm motivated to do this. I'm not as motivated to do that. But I've kind of changed it. I used to do things that I don't necessarily like doing, I try and get them out of the way. And then the things that I enjoy doing, that it's like my little reward. Because I flipped it. Because, like at school days, you'd be like, oh, you do everything you like and you're losing everything that you don't like to the last and everything's late. So I'll be like, I'm not going to do that. We're going to flip it this time. So I think it's just things like that I think help. And it's interesting because obviously lockdown, everyone was affected in various types of ways, not only business, but mental, physical, like you say. So it's always good to hear tips of how people are trying to tackle that. So you and your spin bike in the living room, keeping you going.
That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, that's good. Well, that is really good. And then I suppose my other thing I'd want to ask you about is, again, it's kind of similar, but it's about the mindset. So how do you deal with that internal mindset war that can happen within us? It's usually, as I always say, like most of our negative thoughts come from ourselves, and our limits come from ourselves that we impose on ourselves. So how do you deal with that, particularly as you're in a 9-to-5, you've got lots going on?
And so I think I dealt with it in two ways. One, always on the phone, talking to people. Yeah, whether it is business, whether it's just a social talk, just seeing how each other's going on, or just to take your mind away from that negative thought.
Yeah.
Because I am a believer, like whatever you plant in your head, law of attraction.
Yeah.
So
I get you on that.
If you're thinking negative, you kind of know what's going to happen or what's around the corner. So I had to go through that stage to make sure, do you know what? Something's not right. What am I doing?
Right. Yeah,
it's always these little negative thoughts that or just pop up. It just pops up sometimes, or you're watching something on your mobile. I think I've been on my mobile much more through the lockdown, just because of the lockdown.
Yeah.
And then all the visuals that comes through, whether WhatsApp news, it plays with your mind.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Yeah,
so those little thoughts is just like, do you know what? I need to do something. This, I think, also trading.
Yeah.
Did allow help with that, because I had to learn something. So sitting down, either watching the videos, reading the books or whatsoever, or actually just putting on the trades and seeing it keep going red. It's just like, do you know what? I need to change my mindset. I need to change something to make sure that I'm thinking a bit more positive.
Positive, yeah.
So as soon as the trading helped, I've also do mentoring. Unfortunately, I've had to stop football for the time being.
Well, I suppose because of what's going on with the lockdown and stuff is not so easy, right? Yeah.
Yep. So all those things like that was my stress reliever.
Right. Yeah. So you had to find somewhere else to put that energy now, right?
Yes.
Yeah. No, I get that.
So it's writing books, the eating, and then just little quiet space. So the last since the turn of the year, like just 10 minutes of just peace and quiet, just sit in the garden, walk to the park, and then just sit there for 10 minutes.
It's and so then important. Just come back. That's so important.
Now I'm seeing the benefit.
You see how quiet in the mind is so important. Like meditating, I try to do it as much as I can. I'm not as good as I could be. I'm trying to get back onto it. I feel like before pandemic, I was all right, and I've done well during. And you have your ups and downs, but for the most part, I still try and stay, like you say, kind of centered. But I feel like quieting the mind is so important, and then you can come back refreshed, brighter ideas, and you're a bit more energetic, a bit more focused on what you're doing. So I'm definitely agree with you on that. I think that's so helpful. Helps you stay focused. So those are your key kind of methods, you say, for kind of managing.
And the last one.
Yeah.
Structure.
Okay.
Yeah. So for myself, because I'm doing so many little things.
Yeah.
Not even little things, so many things.
Yeah.
I thought you've got to have a structure. How long am I going to spend on that? I know 9 to 5, I'm on my work, and then how many hours can I spend on trading? How many hours do I spend on writing the book?
Yeah.
So I need to have a structure. And again, as that saying is about the people around you. So is where you want to be going. And
Yeah, absolutely agree with you on that. So being organized, staying focused, structure is very key, which we talk about on this channel a bit as well, about, how you prioritize your time, and trying to make sure you get at least top 2-3 things done on your list, because things always come up, don't they? There's always something creeping up.
Yes.
And I'm sure with you doing IT engineering type work, your stuff must creep up just almost immediate at times, depending on what's happening with the systems, right?
100%. Yes. 100%. I'm always on the move, always on the go. I've got to be ready to just do something different. Yes. Just it's that structure.
Yeah. Well, that's good that you have that in place and that you're working towards, maintaining that. And then is there anything that you say was like you use at the moment that enhances your kind of working smarter, not harder type goals? Because you said you've got your structure, but are you quite disciplined in how you stick to it?
I'm not. I'm no. Do you know what? I am disciplined on. I do stick to if I've got the goals. Once I know my deadline,
right,
I find it easier. So before it used to be, well, I have to do this,
right,
and I'll just do it. But as I was going on, it was just like, when do I need to have it done by? What else is going to either pop up? I need to also consider things that will just creep in, like from in the original scope, for you to just say, okay, what will like to pop up? How long? When does it need to be done? Like, give me a date, Trovers, of when I'm going to have it done. So once I've got that in place, I can see, okay, I've got a little bit of room to add onto here, but a structure that I have been using for a while is 4 hours, like a set time on checking my emails.
Okay. So like every 4 hours or something like that.
So every 4 hours, morning, afternoon, evening.
Yeah.
They're the times that I check my emails.
Yeah.
Because I noticed during lockdown particularly, I'm on the computer all the time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm flicking through so many softwares, programs. What do I do? So, and an email was one of them. That's always in the background. Little pop-up thing, little notification comes up, and it's like, oh, what's that promotion? Oh, who's asked me to help them with this? Or X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
Or can we get you to complete this form 5 minutes? But once 5 minutes turns into 45 minutes.
Yeah, absolutely. Easily done.
Having that little structure and prioritizing my time, checking my emails or spending on a particular task that I said I was going to do in that day.
Cool. I get that. I'm with that. And I try to set myself boundaries as well, so that I try and be like, okay, by this time I'm done. So no more computers or no more whatever. Because because you are working from home, your home life can just go boom. Do you know what I mean? It's just going into work and it's just blended, and you're like no longer at home relaxing. You're just working all the time, and that can take over. So good to see you've got the structure in place. So thank you so much for joining me and in sharing your journey with me. I will definitely like to get you back on when you've got your next series coming up, so we can keep people updated, which would be good to have. So for now, just to remind them, where can they go and find out about your books and your clothing?
So the Murray the Milkman children's book can be found at www.readaware.com, and the Exodus Africa clothing, which we find at exodusafrica.co.uk for your unique attire.
Perfect. Thank you so much for coming on and sharing your journey.
Thank you for having me.
And thank you for being tuned into 9to5 Work Rebels. We will be back with some more entertaining guests soon for you. Thanks again. Hi, 9to5 Work Rebels. If you're feeling stuck or looking for a way out of your 9 to 5, then you're going to want to check out my online course, How to Be a Successful Consultant, Earn More and Escape the 9 to 5. You can also check out my book, How to Become a Consultant, a guide to free yourself from the 9 to 5. If you're already in business or about to start your business, then you're going to want to check out my online DIY PR course, How to Get Media Coverage for Your Business in 30 Days. It will teach you how you can blow up your profile and profits while saving you thousands of pounds in agency fees in the process. So what are you waiting for? Get busy. The links to both the course and the book are in the description box.